Good morning, everyone. So good to be together. Why don't we start out feeling the Spirit? Number 1024 on the teal hymnal, or undoubtedly some slides somewhere around my head. The Spirit says do. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you got to do. Oh Lord, you got to do when the Spirit says do. You got to do what the Spirit says. Do what the Spirit says do. You've got to do, it says do. You got to do, oh Lord. You got to do when the Spirit says do. The Spirit's only going to do a little bit this morning.
So this is There Is More Love Somewhere. It goes. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. How much more hope? There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. Some more peace, y'all. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. And joy. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. Nice.
Thank you, Camille. Camille is coming to us from South Africa. So there you go. Good morning. Welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, and my pronouns are she and her. We're so grateful that we can gather here today on this very special celebration of our democratic process in Unitarian Universalism. This is a little bit of a non-traditional service for us. So if you're visiting here today, I hope that you will find much to enjoy and that you will also consider coming back another time to see what else we do together. We are glad that you are here. If you've chosen to be here in the Borton Hall, or if you need more, actually we've got our, here in the sanctuary, on our live stream, hello everyone on the live stream, and we also have our patio set up starting again, weather permitting, and we'll just keep an eye on the heat this summer. I know some people have been asking if they can come back on the patio, and we are going to start doing that again. So if you are visiting us, we hope you will complete a visitor's card, and there's two ways you can do that. One is to go online and do it, and the other is to join the wonderful welcoming people at our welcoming table and to do that there. It's also a place you can get a name tag and sign up to learn more about who we are. So on the first Sunday of the month, we have an opportunity for people following the service who want to make the commitment of membership to do that. So we'll do that in 2 Sundays, and we're grateful that folks are here today. We are today launching the sign up for our summer community circles. This is a great way to get to know a smaller group of people within our congregation and a great way to be in engaging conversation as well. You can do that in our Borton Hall after the service. This week, today after the service also, we will have our Radical Orientations class led by Travis McPhee, our amazing student chaplain. And Travis is with us for another month and a half or so please take advantage of that as well. And this Wednesday, we will have our labyrinth with a dinner prepared by our former sanctuary guest, Erica Calderon, who will be cooking for us, and then we will also have our rituals of restoration. So there's a lot of other programming going on Wednesday. So all of that you can see if you look at this week at MDUC, and we are so glad that you have chosen to be part of our service and welcome to this beloved community.
Good morning, everybody. I am Jim Lincoln, a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. So MDUC, as we all know, is a welcoming faith community, and we begin our services by reading our statement of mission together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. There are many, many wonderful things going on in this church, as always, and you can get up to date on them by looking at the weekly email announcements and, of course, the Beacon newsletter. Those of you who may be feeling some symptoms, a bit under the weather, we appreciate the fact that you are staying at home, possibly watching this on the live stream, and hope you're feeling better soon. A few announcements. Thanks to everybody who has been leading so many of our Bid for Love events, and all those who have been attending those events. If anyone has yet to finish paying their pledge for the current church year, 23-24, we're about to go into the new church year, 24-25. If you could please do it by the end of this month, July 1st begins the new church year, we would be ever so grateful. And welcome, it's so good to be together.
So this week, we are marking this service that celebrates some of our conversation across our country as a larger community of Unitarian Universalists. And we do that through our General Assembly of Congregations, where we come together once a year to do the business of the association and to learn from one another. It is a great time to meet someone new. So today, as you welcome one another, greet those that you're glad to see back, and try to say hello to someone you don't know yet. Let's exchange greetings.
Good morning. My name is Holly Ito, and my pronouns are she and her. These are the words of the Reverend Victoria Safford, spoken yesterday before the vote on Article 2 at the General Assembly. However we vote, we put love at the center. Unflinching, insistent, this free faith we so cherish. It reveres the past and trusts the dawning future more. We believe in evolution, unfolding always, not unraveling, and revelation is not sealed.
I'd like to invite those who are young and young at heart to come forward for a time for all ages. Good morning. So, some of you may know we had a summer camp this last week while lots of our grown-ups were doing General Assembly or working or doing other things. We had 30 participants doing a theater production of The Ugly Duckling. Now, raise your hand if you are familiar with the story of The Ugly Duckling. Yeah, it's a timeless tale. Well, we explored our UU values of justice, equity, and transformation in the context of this story. And for those of you who are less familiar with the story takes place on a farm where Mama Duck is tending to several baby ducks, and there's one baby that looks a little bit different, seems a little bit different from everybody else, and gets teased a lot, and that baby goes off on their own journey to find themselves and find their community, only to discover that they were not a duck, they were actually a swan. And so the story has a very powerful message about making sure that we are lifting everybody up, and we got to do lots of singing and dancing, and one of the songs that we sang is Hold Everybody Up by Melanie DeMore. And so I want to invite us all to rise in body or spirit, and we're going to sing that song together. And those of you who are at camp with me this week, I want you to do our motions with me. And I want to hear loud singing theater voices, okay? Yeah! We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. We've gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up. Just because you look like you and I look like me, it doesn't mean we can't be friends. You're not my enemy. We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. We gotta hold everybody. We gotta hold everybody up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up, up, up. Hold everybody up. Thank you. And now, I'd like to invite you to sing our... Oh.
Okay. So we had a lot going on here last week, and we did not have, we had so much going on. We had General Assembly here, we had ministers visiting for Ministers' Day, and we had this amazing camp. And because of everything that was happening, I didn't get a chance to do what you're supposed to do at the end of a performance, which is present the bouquet of flowers.
Thank you.
If you ever needed to be reminded, which most of us don't, of the many, many talents of our Director of Religious Education, our credentialed Director of Religious Education, Marina McGregor, this is another time. Thank you, Marina.
Okay, now I'd like to invite you to join us in singing the children and youth to their activities.
May your minds be open to new learning. May your words bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
My name is Wes Van Haney, and my pronouns are he, him, and his. It is a privilege to be here with you today. Today I'm going to share what Unitarian Universalism faith means to me. I was born and raised in Brazil under the Catholic Church. My father's side of the family was all Catholic, and my mother was Protestant. My mother let go of her religion, a Protestant religion, when she got married with my father, and I actually never had to experience that side of my mother's religion. So I was brought up under Catholicism, and it felt like I had my entire future written and set up by the church, like from baptism, first communion, confession, going to church every single Sunday, and being there, listening to the same premeditated service, mass, that was written and repeated year after year after year. So as I get older, I started questioning things, and questioning a lot of things about religion, like spirit, soul, sins, hell, heaven. I questioned around some church members and the priest, and I got those answers that they weren't, they felt like they were being answered, like being read from a guidebook for, answers for all upcoming type of questions about religion. They didn't give me the meaning that I was looking for, and I was not happy with that. And so I actually didn't know what I wanted to hear either. I was on that age where you really start questioning, but, even the questions kind of didn't make much sense to me. So many, many years went by, and I moved to United States, and I was working a lot. I started working 2 full-time jobs for the first 4 or 5 years when I moved over here. And when I stopped and looked to myself, it was 10 years had gone by, and I was not part of any community, any religion community. And something was missing. I felt like I had that urge to belong to a religious community again. Something was missing. So the easiest and obvious fallback, to go back to was Catholic Church. So I tried going back to a Catholic Mass, and that was it for me. I was like certain, after so many years, went by, I was hoping something would be different, and it wasn't. And I didn't want to go back to that. So I had a few more trials with different types of communities around, until a beautiful day I came upon the UU Church in Westport, Connecticut. I don't know if you're familiar with, it's the big spaceship type of building that is breathtaking as you go to, and I never thought like a church could look like that in my life. So I thought it was a science museum, to be honest. So It was beautiful. It was a beautiful service, and I felt welcomed. And as soon as the service ended, and we were leaving, people at the door gathered and asked name and where you're from and what brought you here. And of course, I had to ask those questions, right? That I had in my mind for so many years. So one of the questions, for example, they were like, do you need to believe in hell to go to heaven? Does God condemn me for whom I love? Does animals have souls and they go to heaven when they die? Do I need to give money to church to buy a plot in heaven when I die? And what if I am poor and don't have money? Do I go straight to hell? So those were the type of questions I had. And they were answered with a little bit of humor. And, actually the answers were, what do you believe? And they said, okay, so we support you. And that was wonderful to hear that. And it totally changed my path, and the meaning for me is understanding, and respecting and welcome you as you are. That's what Unitarian Universalism faith means to me. And it helped me be a better person and be part of a greater community with similar beliefs, attitude, and respect for one another. So let's be grounded in what we believe and what makes us feel united. In name of the good and name of love, let's celebrate today. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit as you are able. This hymn, Blessed Spirit of My Life, music and words written by Shirley Jackson Denham, a UU and a minister, director of the Mountain, North Carolina. The text was written as a prayer, and so it remains. Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with a vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of greatness stirring, hear the still small voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, live the source of my intuition. Then, when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
It is the practice in this church, when we lose a member to death, to light a candle from the chalice. And shortly before our service began today, I got a call and learned that early this morning, our dear member, Jerry Steck, died. As many of you know, Jerry has been struggling for a number of years with Parkinson's and other related illnesses. And Barbara said that he also had contracted COVID in his last days. Jerry was a person who loved people. He loved his neighbors at Rossmore. He loved being in his body and walking and exercising and especially dancing. Jerry and Barbara gave us some wonderful memories and dance lessons in their days. And as we absorb this news and as we're holding Barbara in our hearts, who I will just say, if you can maybe drop her a note, knowing that she just had this news today. Let us remember the generous and wise and kind and enthusiastic spirit that was Jerry Steck. Jerry has been a member, Jerry and Barbara have been members here since 2005 and have deep roots in this congregation. Though, of course, I don't have the details, I'm sure we will be celebrating Jerry's life in some way, and we will be holding the family in our hearts until then. Thank you.
I'm just going to ask us all to maybe take a collective breath again. I could use one. So now is the time in our service where we come together to bear witness to all of those joys and sorrows that are definitely too great for any one of us to hold alone. So if you have written in our book of joys and sorrows today and would like to, please come forward and light a candle as I read your entry. Sharon Solstice is lighting a candle. I want to share with pride and joy that last week my daughter, Claire Solstice, graduated summa cum laude with a BA from Southern Oregon University. And she's in the back if you want to. Now she's hiding. David Platt and Doug Tamo are lighting a candle. David's dad passed away on Father's Day after a battle with dementia. He was loved and will be missed by all of the lives that he touched. Wes Fahani is lighting a candle in memory of my loving Aunt Magali, who passed away last year in October. Her passing still hurts. Marla Moore is lighting a candle in the memory of my loving sister, Linda Eaton, who passed away last week. And Tom Taylor. My friend John Mingo died last week. Blessings to him. And I'm asking Reverend Leslie to light a celebratory candle for the lifting up of our musical theater camp this week, which had around 30 children and youth participating from our community and beyond. May the values that they learned there serve them in their daily lives. I'm also asking Reverend Leslie to light another celebratory candle for the passage of 3 actions of immediate witness and a responsive resolution that empower us and the UUA board to proclaim the value of love that underscores our association when it comes to trans rights, climate change, COVID-19, and Palestinian and Jewish liberation. I'm also asking Reverend Leslie to light a celebratory candle that embraces and lifts up our ability to really practice what we preach in terms of the democratic process in the passage of the new Article 2 values of our faith, which after much discussion and a few amendments, well, one amendment, has passed with a clear 80% majority. And let us also hold in that flame the complexities that love is, that we are called to hold one another as a community as we navigate collectively what it means to be a UU in the years ahead. And I'm asking that now 2 final candles be lit, the first representing all the joys and sorrows that we leave unspoken but are still held in our collective consciousness. And the second, a reminder that we are just and caretakers of this one imperfect but precious world.
Please remain seated. Circle Round for Freedom. Linda Hirschburn, Oakland cantor and composer who wrote this chant, says, and I'm saying this for a reason, singing in harmony is a paradigm for how we might respect differences while coming together to create a greater whole. You can see that I'm alone up here. I need all the help I can get from my community. Number 55 in your hymnal. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Okay, come on, y'all, branch out. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
There are many forms of gratitude, and before we begin with our prayer, I just want to take a moment for a very important one, and that is that we had plans for music for this service, and then one of the people that was key to that got COVID, and then we had new plans for music for this service, and then the person that was going to lead them got COVID. And so I just want to say we are so fortunate to have such a talented but also dedicated person in our congregation, the amazing Laura Zucker. So, and part of my prayer, folks, today is that we all be aware that the Bay Area is experiencing a surge, and take care of yourselves. So I invite you now into the spirit of meditation and prayer. Spirit of life, God of many names, especially of love. The world can seem so fragile, and within it our community. May we embrace a spirit of abundance in which we can claim our own truths while holding space for the truths of others, where we can understand that holding all of this together is what gives us the possibility of new truths being birthed. We who have each individually and collectively come through so much in the recent years and who look ahead to know that there is more of challenge before us. May we remember that we have the ability to hold one another if we are not so worried about what someone else may have, but more concerned with what we can share and what we can give one another. For those of us whose upbringing, no fault of our own, included being taught that we were generally right and righteous, perhaps this is a time that calls us into an ethic of humility. For those of us, through no fault of our own, were taught that we were flawed and never right, may our search be for finding the power of our voice, however tentative it might be. May we always together look for new ways to lead, which are not about being a winner or being a loser, but being in relationship, in covenant with one another. A place that centers love and where we remember with all our hearts that we are better together. May we be the one to live into this promise.
The inspiration for this song, which you've all sang many times, and I'm counting on you to sing it this time too, is you, is us. We're all in this together. There'll be a slide. I believe. And your part is mostly one note. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. We all know heartache, we all know pain, but nothing ventured means nothing gained. And every rainbow, it needs the rain. You're not alone, try again. 'Cause this boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Good. Even if you feel tempest tossed, even if you feel that all is lost, you've heard the thunder roar, had a look at heaven's door. If you're sinking like a stone, this boat will carry you home. 'Cause this boat is steady. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. In this boat, there's nothing we can't do together. No matter the weather, no matter that the charts aren't ours, we will navigate by our stars. 'Cause this boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This will carry us to the farthest shore. One more time, why not? This boat is steady. Oh, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore.
You know, I just love it when I serve in this role and I get to follow Laura. Can we give Laura Zucker more love? Thank you. What's that? Oh, yeah, right. Good morning. I'm Mark David Watanabe. My pronouns are he and him. I serve on your board of trustees, and I'm also another delegate to this year's virtual General Assembly. During this GA, which I've determined is my 25th one, I've had a chance to ponder and reflect on the changes I've witnessed over time. When I first became a Unitarian Universalist in 1979, there were only 6 objectives, not principles. We then moved on, or moved through the era of the 7 principles and eventually 6 sources. And in the current revision of Article 2 of our bylaws, we have finally identified generosity as one of our shared Unitarian Universalist values. Now, as this is the call for the offering, you may think, of course I'd land here with a plea for generosity of finances, but today that would only be partly true. The past few days at GA have included difficult and sometimes painful comments and exchanges regarding issues of critical importance. Yet, I have been heartened to see evidence of generosity of spirit, with careful public attention paid to creating a community of care, one that is committed to holding space for necessary lamentation, support, and movement toward healing. In demonstrating that this faith tradition has the capacity to be more inclusive across our differences, GA is providing the basis for a longer-term hope. It is that generosity of spirit I invite you to tap into this morning as the baskets are passed. Please bless your offering with the intention of maintaining a community of care here at Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I now invite the ushers to come forward here in the sanctuary, and those of you joining us virtually can look for that yellow Give Now button. Your offerings will now be gratefully received as we acknowledge the wider world of our evolving liberal religious movement. Please join with me in reciting our dedication of the offering. The words are on the screen. To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
Ours is a living tradition, a faith steeped in a long past and at the precipice of what I believe is a very promising future. This past week, many of us have gathered right here in the sanctuary to view on the big screen that's up the webcast of our annual meeting of all of the associated congregations who have bound themselves together through covenants documented in our organization's bylaws. Unlike other faith traditions, we are a collective of individual congregations, not a denomination with any kind of ecclesiastical or clerical governing entity. This is known as congregational polity, and it dates back to the very early days of the Unitarian and the Universalist Christian traditions, long before they merged together in 1961, which formed what we currently refer to as the Unitarian Universalist Association. This merger brought together the American Unitarian Association and the Universalist Church of America. The commitment to congregational polity remained strong even after the merger itself. The UUA was established not as a singular governing body, but instead was built as an association facilitating cooperation, support, and collective decision-making among its member congregations. At the heart of the model of that governance is the General Assembly, an annual gathering where delegates from member congregations come together to deliberate and vote on matters that affect the entire association. The General Assembly, to me, epitomizes the UU principle of democratic governance, with each congregation exercising its voice and votes through their selected and allotted delegates. The UUA bylaws established and periodically amended are done so at the General Assembly. These bylaws outline the principles and procedures governing our association. This year, one of our articles articles within our bylaws was up for revision. Article 2 of our bylaws contain the covenant and the details that bind our congregations to one another to form this association. Bylaws ensure that the association remains a vehicle for cooperation rather than a top-down ecclesiastical authority. I cannot stress this enough. The representatives we elect to run the association do so at the behest of the delegates of the General Assembly. Deep state equivalents lurking in the halls of the UUA offices in Boston is not a thing. We are the UUA, and the UUA is us. This year's theme, Love Unites, Stories Ignite, reminds me that our ongoing journey together asks us to embrace the inspiration that we hear from the stories of other people around us, regardless of whether we share similarities or not. The following reflections from our delegates that we are about to hear are invaluable insights into the dynamics of the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and our embrace of the spirit of democracy. As we begin to hear those stories from this year, let us embrace the theme of GA and remember that storytelling in this way can provide a huge bridge between our local congregation's life and the broader UU community together.
Good morning. I am Linda Russell. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I've been a delegate at General Assembly these last few years, and this year was, I must say, a very tender time with very hard conversations. In one of her reflections, UUA President Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt reminded us that in the work of liberation, which is what this faith is all about, there are multiple truths. She shared an excerpt from poet William Stafford's in which he talks about the thread that is between us, through us. Through this poem, what I heard is that the thread is both guide and anchor. This faith is a tapestry of opinions and stories and many different kinds of love. And when each of us experiences love of our true, authentic selves, our own love expands. In addition to many presentations sharing the good works being done by so many congregations around the country and beyond, including our own ministerial team, Reverend Leslie, Reverend Rodney, and chaplain intern Travis, sharing our commitment to a faith without walls, there were many opportunities to share intentional space with other Black, Indigenous, people of color, UUs. There was an incredible Juneteenth celebration presented by Black UUs, otherwise known as Blue. What a powerful commemoration with music and reflection of the journey of Black folk in this country's history and in this faith. Central to this theme is water, the water that carried our ancestors here, the water that ferried us to freedom, the water that calls to us as the spirits of our ancestors lost in those waters during the Middle Passage, and the water that is the ritual of baptism to life, fluidity, rebirth, healing, an opportunity for a celebration of the wider community to commemorate the experience of Black members and friends. And then there is DRUM, Diverse Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries, by, for, and about BIPOC UUs. Saturday morning, we had our annual meeting. We celebrated the Melvin Hoover Beloved Community Award, named for the minister who received the 2013 UUA's Distinguished Service Award for his tireless devotion to anti-racism, anti-oppression work within the UUA. This award is given to honorees who have contributed to DRUM and to the UU BIPOC community. This year, the award recognized the contributions of Paula Cole-Jones, champion of the 8th Principle and consultant on multicultural competencies, and Reverend Dr. Janice Marie Johnson, current Director of Ministries and Faith Development, supporting religious professionals, especially those from marginalized communities. Both are former presidents of DRUM. As I looked at the screen, I was taken in by all the beautiful faces and drawn into the sense of belonging, sharing our truths, and joy and unique elements of faith filled the meetings through music and prayer and praise, celebrating the very important threads that connect us and the progressive spirit that we bring as a rich intersectional community within this larger community. In her comments during opening session, Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore described how we bring different points of view to our discussions, that hearing and respecting the stories of others does not mean we let go of our own stories, but we give space and value to the experiences of all. Listening, truth-telling, transformation. This year, the theme this year was Love Unites, Stories Ignite. As a living tradition, we are a faith writing our own narrative, and we are called to participate in the creation of that narrative.
Hello, I'm Rose Barretto, and I use she, her pronouns. So my postcard reflection is inspired by phrases and sentences I heard over the course of GA from various speakers that really struck me and that I'm still thinking about. In her President's Report, UUA President, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt said, "There is real uncertainty in these times, and we do know that the same values that are at the heart of our faith are central to healing this beautiful and broken world. The particularities of this time on our planet are calling us to meet this moment, to draw from the deepest wisdom of our past, to embrace creativity and compassion in the present, and to pivot in ways that will position us to serve a future in which all people and the planet can thrive." To serve a future, it's these words that really got to me. I think about the future all the time, especially being a mom to children who are now becoming teenagers and are getting closer and closer to graduation and to adulthood. But to serve a future, I hadn't thought of it like that before. It's such a loving action, an action that I know I am capable of extending beyond my kids to their whole generation. At another time, during a discussion on a proposed amendment, I heard a parent, a mom, speaking about equity and belonging. While she spoke, I could see a little figure peeking their head around her, looking at the screen. Then the mom said, "You may have noticed in my background there is a small child listening. That child is an 11-year-old queer Unitarian Universalist, and they are paying attention. They are watching these sessions at General Assembly, wanting to know if they will be accepted as a UU when they grow up." For me, this was a blunt reminder that we are shaping the future world for today's youth, that at GA, UUs are shaping a faith that can strive to meet the needs of youth, young adults, my kids, and provide them with guiding values that will nourish and inspire them so they can face a world that will be different from the world I faced. I would like my last words to be the words of Reverend Dr. Victoria Stanford from yesterday's session, which you heard some of during the chalice lighting. "We put love at the center, unflinching, insistent. This faith we so cherish reveres the past and trusts the dawning future more." Thank you.
My name is Mary Beth Spencer, and my pronouns are either she, her, or they, them. My comments are relating to one of the business resolutions. This one was embracing transgender, non-binary, and intersex people as fundamental expressions of UU religious values. I will not read you the entire resolution, but I do want to read parts of it to you. On behalf of the member congregations and communities of the UUA, we proclaim that our principles and values unequivocally commit our faith to honor and celebrate the full spectrum of gender identity and expression. Being transgender or identifying with any gender other than the one assigned at birth is a beautiful and divine manifestation of humanity, as is being intersex or having sex characteristics that vary from what is considered typical. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of each person as a core principle. The ability to live ever more authentically as one's true self is central to a lifelong journey towards spiritual fulfillment. The final paragraph reads, "We hereby pledge our collective faithful efforts to the full affirmation and celebration of transgender, non-binary, intersex, and gender-diverse people within our congregations and the wider community, and uphold this commitment as a fundamental obligation revealed by our principles and values. There was some debate about this because some people brought up flawed studies or things that had been debunked. I have personal interest in this, as my youngest child has been genderqueer since they were 11 years old. They grew up in this congregation, and you welcomed them when we thought they were a little girl named Holly, but now you accept them as a genderqueer trans teen named Peyton, who many of you find beloved. But hearing those comments from other people who question my parenting, who question whether the doctors and I made the right choice for my child. But the last moments as we were debating this were given to the person who offered this business resolution, and she had a beautiful response. Reverend Jacaren Olaoya said, "To my trans, non-binary, intersex, or gender diverse beloveds, lean in. Lean in. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please do not leave the space without feeling my love and the love of others who see you as divine. I love you. You are divine. I love you. You are holy. I love you. You know who you are. I love you. You are worthy of being whoever you need to be to survive and thrive in this world. I love you, and I will say it for 50 seconds if I need to. I love you. 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 Do not leave the space without knowing that you are loved. If you need a reminder, call me, email me, text me. What we will not do in this space is let you go another moment believing anything other than the fact that you are loved. Thank you.
It says performed by me, but it's always me with you. This is pretty easy, and I think we've done it before. Here's your part, my part, also your part. And I will start as soon as I remember what my part is. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Shall we try it? Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Now that you know it, let's do it again. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name. Will you ease this pain? Here's the trick. Can you loosen, loosen, baby, while I do this part? I know you can. 1, 2. Of course you can. 1, 2, here we go. Holy breath and holy name.
Good morning. My name is Richard Scobie. I am a tall white male with some white hair remaining, a white beard, and a white mustache. I am wearing a magenta shirt with cross-hatching on it and black slacks. That may seem like an odd way to introduce oneself, but it's to accommodate those who don't see as well. And every single speaker at GA so far has introduced themselves that way. Not the way I just did, but I have been a UU since 1975, and I believe this is the 15th General Assembly I've attended, but my first virtual one. GAs have determined many family vacation destinations over the years, from Portland, Oregon, to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, from Fort Worth, Texas, to Boston, Massachusetts. The most recent in-person GA I attended was in 2019 in Spokane, Washington, where Reverend Leslie gave a talk called the Berry Street Essay. I didn't know her then and didn't attend her lecture. My loss. When people ask what GA is like, and we're talking an in-person one, I ask them to imagine 4,000 people singing, "Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body," etc. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. It's an emotional experience to sing with that many people. It's not part of admittedly, it's not part of a virtual GA. For this GA, the focus has been on a rewrite of our purposes and principles, a process many years in the making. I didn't even realize this was in the works until coming to this church and attending the minister's class on a regular basis. At our previous church in Madison, Wisconsin, Lynn and I periodically led a new UU course where the purposes and principles were a big focus of the discussion. Before that, I found them extremely useful in explaining who we were. The minister's class was all about how they were being rewritten, which was attempted several years ago and rejected. And these last 4 days were about whether to accept this latest revision. We have voted, and I guess we already got the results. Is that what I heard? Yes. So we agreed to do it, and it's done. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Mark Chase. My pronouns are he and him. I'm a member of your Board of Trustees and also one of your delegates to this year's General Assembly. Attending General Assembly is a commitment. During most normal years, it involves traveling to another city, finding lodging, locating sessions, listening to speakers, and a steady pace of meetings, discussions, and amendments. This year being completely virtual, GA has been both easier and more difficult. It has been easier from a practical standpoint, not having to travel to GA or expend travel funds. At the same time, navigating the technical emails, the links, the event app, and the text chains has proved challenging. Reverend Leslie and Reverend Rodney tirelessly worked to get us all connected via email and text chain. If I counted correctly, it did take 8 different text chains to finally get all of us on the same one. But we appreciate the efforts. It is heartening and reassuring to see how members of our delegation wish to be engaged with the process and with each other. This is a contentious time for our association. At this year's GA, the association was hopeful that substantial updates to our bylaws, principles, and purposes would pass. Let's face it, friends, change is hard. If any of you are NPR fans and recall when Morning Edition updated their theme song in 2019 after 40 years and the uproar that ensued, you might understand some of the strong emotions these debates provoked. Perhaps let's look at this another way. How many of us have avocado green or groovy orange appliances in our kitchen today? How many of us have a large TV with wood paneling that weighs more than 100 pounds in our living room? As we grow and evolve, updates are necessary in all aspects of our lives. These changes to our bylaws speak to the younger and traditionally marginalized members of our faith community and bring us into the present moment with a much-needed refresh. Reverend Meg Riley, one of the co-moderators of the UUA, opened yesterday morning's session with these words. For many people, for many reasons, being here at this General Assembly is painful. I could list the reasons all morning, but I will simply say it is a hard time to be a human, harder for some than for others, always. We are part of this staggeringly beautiful and profoundly broken world, and we bring all of its aches and pains into this space with us. Democracy and the democratic process are not easy. Attending GA and thoughtfully considering the items to vote on each day require a lot of stamina and analysis. It also requires fortitude when listening to speakers that share mistruths or hurtful language, just like one might hear in mainstream political discourse today. For all of us here today, both GA delegates as well as citizens of this nation, with a critical election approaching, we must remember to be strong and resolute when faced with a task as important as this is. Exercising our right to vote is one of the most powerful ways to effect change, both at the local as well as the national level. Yesterday, as I cast my vote to approve the Article 2 proposed changes, I took particular pride in having my voice heard and in representing all of you, the many members and voices of this beloved congregation.
My friends, it was a lot, and I will not be saying much more except to say this. There are a couple snapshots I want to add to our, can we just thank all of our delegates, the ones that spoke and the ones that didn't. I want to note what it felt like to have us open the ministry days in a service that I was part of with Laura Zucker's song that we all sang, This Boat, 600 ministers hearing that song for the first, many of them for the first time. That was a wonderful thing. And I want to tell you what it felt like to come out of the Borton Hall where I was helping as a fill-in for the camp with so many of our young people who are gender nonconforming, and to walk back into this conversation here and to hear that there are more than 600 hate bills in our nation today aimed at our transgender kin. And to be grateful that even though it's difficult and we always have to learn, we are willing to stay on that growing edge, that ever-widening edge of our learning and loving tradition. I have some other words, but I'm going to share them with you another way. What I want to say right now is how grateful I am for this affirmation of the democratic process, which we should never take for granted. Thank
you. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing number 131 in the hymnals or on a screen near you, where we embody our fundamental guiding force. Love will guide us.
And we are going to extinguish our chalice with some words from our president, Reverend Dr. Sofia Bentancur. Before we do, I want to say that I am so grateful to this congregation and so dedicated to its service. And I will be taking some Sundays off from worship. So you will not be seeing me. I'll be doing some behind the scenes things, but I will not be here with you on Sunday. I am so grateful that our newly called associate minister, Reverend Rodney Lemery, will be. I won't say have at him, but anyway. Here are the words of our president. This is a historic moment for Unitarian Universalism as we move our living tradition forward to focus on shared values to help promote liberation, radical inclusion, and communal care both within our church and across society. So let us take these values, this hope, this inspiration, and this sense of togetherness out into a world, and let us offer it our strength.